What's going on, everybody? I'm Primalliquid and welcome to my, well, I guess you could say kind of unique thank you video in a way. So if you don't know, well, we've surpassed a goal on Patreon, which is the very first goal I set, which rewards all of you lovely people with a Q&A. Now, this has been delayed for a few different reasons, mainly so I can let time build up for the questions, and I did want to wait for my new camera to arrive, just so you guys can get the best quality possible, because I think it's time we retire the webcam, really. I think it's time that that sort of just fades away into obscurity, because that really wasn't that good, to be fair. But as you guys can see, the lighting's way better on this one as well, and it's really not as blurry. So, yeah, it's going to be a Q&A because we did surpass the $50 monthly threshold on Patreon, and in fact we're very close to the next threshold as well, which is going to be a full setup video. So I imagine we might actually be hitting that in the next couple of days, really. But anyway, let's jump into the Q&A, shall we? But first, this video is brought to you by, well, you. I don't have any official sponsors, so all of this is made possible thanks to you guys, whether it's commenting, liking and sharing the video, or those who support me financially on Patreon and YouTube memberships, just like these awesome people. If you also want to help support, then consider checking out the links down below for some awesome rewards, or consider checking out my affiliate links or my merchandise link, all located down below in the description. So first of all, I have gone and put two different posts onto the YouTube community, my Twitter, my Facebook, Patreon itself, and so on and so forth. So yeah, let's just go ahead and take a look at all the questions we've received, shall we? So it looks like we've got 19 comments on the first one, so let's take a look. Okay, John Durando, you smoke weed or nah? Nope. Never ever done any like sort of drug or anything like that. I'm as clean as you can get. I do smoke cigarettes, but they're just plain cigarettes. Like, I've never done weed or anything like that. Marcus Newby, thank you for such wonderful content. Which title introduced you to the Final Fantasy series? So, with me, I got into Final Fantasy when I was very young. I think the first one I ever played was Final Fantasy VIII. If I remember rightly, I borrowed the game from like my cousin and that, but well, he only lent me like disc 1. His disc 2 was like just completely trashed and just would not work. So I was basically playing like disc 1 of Final Fantasy VIII just non-stop for like months and months, just constantly repeating it. And back then, like, Final Fantasy 7, 8 and 9 was super hard to get hold of, like on the PS1 and that. In the end, like, I think it wasn't really until probably Final Fantasy X on the PS2 when I like really got into it. It's like I'd played a bit of 7 and 9 before then, a little bit of 6 before then as well, but when 10 came out, that was probably what got me like super into FF10, into Final Fantasy. After that, I ended up going out of my way to try and track down copies of like the other Final Fantasies, and in the end I found this like really niche store that was selling them, and I was like, yes! And everything is history from there, basically. So yeah, I started on FF8, moved on to FF10, and then went back to all the old ones. Okay. Cloud Mackie, I really like your accent. Where exactly are you from? So I am from the Midlands, UK, aka Stoke-on-Trent. Kind of not the greatest area in the UK. Definitely not the greatest area. We're sort of the forgotten area of England. But yeah, I'm pretty much smack dab in the middle of the UK. Okay, what do we got next? We have Burger Acid. Dude, Burger Acid? That doesn't sound too appetizing. Not appetizing at all. Favourite piece of dialogue in any Final Fantasy game? Favourite piece of dialogue? Ooh, this is probably going to be a little tricky. If I had to... this has really put me on the spot now. I think my favourite like conversation, like, I don't know whether you mean dialogue as in like best one-liner or like favourite conversation, so I'm just going to go with conversation. I think my all-time favourite conversation is probably going to be Final Fantasy IX in Terra. So, you know, after Zidane basically follows Garland and then he disappears and he's on that like chair and that, and then you sort of have to go through the scripted battles while your allies like Steiner, Gon and all that are trying to talk you out of it, you know, sort of get you back to normal and that. That is probably my most favourite piece of dialogue in Final Fantasy. I'm not really sure why, I think it sticks out to me the most anyway, but Final Fantasy IX does have a lot of memorable dialogue anyway. Okay, let's see, what have we got next? Shane Boswell. Who is your favourite Final Fantasy character? Yuna. Hands down Yuna. It's like if you watch the Final Fantasy stream, well the Final Fantasy 14 streams I've been doing, it should be quite obvious to tell that my favourite character is Yuna. After Yuna it would probably be Gon from FF9. What can I say? I love the women. I love the women, you know? Okay. Aura Beat. Will you be doing overpowered videos on different RPG games? Well, I know this was like a month ago, so my latest overpowered video is kind of out now, which is on Disgaea 5, so yes I will. What is your favourite system and / or game series? Favourite system was probably originally going to be the PS2. But now I'm probably more gonna say PC, just because I can kind of play any console game on it, you know? But yeah, probably PC. Favourite game series, I mean, it's probably, like, I assume a lot of you are going to expect me to just say Final Fantasy. That's not technically true. Final Fantasy is one of them, but it's actually mixed with Metal Gear Solid. So if you don't know, like, way back on my old channel, like, I actually got started with Metal Gear Solid. Like, I loved Metal Gear Solid games, and still do to this day. Just a shame about Metal Gear Solid 5 being so bad. I mean, gameplay-wise, it was alright. The story was just, you know, just really... The story just really wasn't a Metal Gear game. But, you know, what can you do? What can you do? Okay, what's my favourite colour from Fishy? My favourite colour is red. Like, it's always been red. I don't know why, it's just always been red. You know what I mean? It's like, I can remember when growing up in that, and then it's like, boys aren't supposed to like red. And I'm just like, bitch, please, I love red. Like, I don't really like blue or anything like that, which is kind of convenient because I have blue curtains and blue wool. But no, my favourite colour's red. What kind of person are you? Very philosophical. Well, it's the very last boss. Might as well use these elixirs, or these are rare. I made it this far without them, I'll finish it without them. I mean, if I need to use them, I'll use them, but the chances of needing to use an elixir in, like, Final Fantasy are very, very slim. But yeah, if I need to use them, I'll just use them. It's like, if you're on the final boss, what's the point in saving them? It's like, if there's a post-game, then I might be more hesitant on using them, just because it might come in handy later on. But no, if, like, the game is finished after that boss, then yeah, I'll go nuts and use them all. Would you ever do a video or series diving into some of the more ridiculous Final Fantasy X challenges, like no sphere grid, etc.? Well, Tim, I've already done a Final Fantasy X challenge video, which is the items only, but I don't think that's what you mean. Do you mean, like, going over some of the challenges and explaining more about them, how to do them, rather than actually doing them myself, or, like... I'm not entirely sure what you mean there. If people want me to, like, look to challenge and break it down, just to point out, like, the hard parts, the easy parts, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and things like that, then yeah, I'm more than happy to do that. As for challenge runs, they're going to be a little bit rare, but yes, I will be doing challenge runs, basically. Just like my FF10 items only one. Okay. Dark and Peters, what's the hardest game to 100% in your opinion from the games you have played? Okay, thankfully you're not limiting this to Final Fantasy. As for 100%, it's no contest. It's Star Ocean 4. Like, it is absolutely no contest. If any of you guys have ever tried to get all the battle trophies on Star Ocean 4, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me just put this into perspective. The world record for getting the Platinum Trophy for Star Ocean 4, last time I checked, was about 850 hours. and that's the world record for the fastest. So yeah, just to put that into perspective for you, the average platinum on that game is between 1,000 and 1,500 hours. So there is that. Okay, Channel 13. Did you ever play the Breath of Fire games? If so, would you ever consider challenges? No, I've never played them. It's never been a game that's crossed my path really, so I've never really given them a chance. Maybe in the future, who knows. As for challenges, if I do get around to playing them and I like them, then sure, why not? Okay, the Mr. Cody Dog. What is your all-time favourite Final Fantasy game? Really? Is this really you must be a new sub. You must be a new sub. So, it should be obvious to a lot of you, but Final Fantasy X. Like, Final Fantasy X above and beyond is, like, just my pure favourite Final Fantasy game. Nothing even comes close to 10. After 10, it would probably be 9, followed by 8. Those are my top 3. Okay, next question. When will you drop your next overpowered video? About a week ago. No, in all fairness, my next overpowered video, I'm not 100% sure. I'm still sort of stuck at the planning stage at the moment. I'm trying to piece together what game I'm going to do it on. I've got a few ideas floating around, and I've got a few ideas floating around for what to do in each of those ideas. So it's a work in progress, you know. It's like these overpowered videos do take a lot of planning effort. So I honestly couldn't tell you. I'm afraid I honestly couldn't tell you. I do try and get one out every month, but there's probably not going to be one in March. I will put it that way. I think my next one is more than likely going to be Final Fantasy VII Remake, if I'm honest. Just because, like, the planning stages at the moment are going very, very slow. There might be one towards the end of March if I can get it done in time. But again, it just depends on how much time it takes. If not, then it will more than likely be Final Fantasy VII Remake. Okay, next question. Josh Peacock. If you could only play one RPG game for I assume that means for the rest of your life, which one and why? One RPG game and not series. Let's see now. If it's one exclusive game, I would probably go with Grandia. Like the original Grandia on the PS1. That is a game that I can play forever and never ever get bored of it, you know? Like, that is probably one of my all-time favourite games, so yeah, probably Grandia. Probably Grandia. It's like, I do love the story on that. No matter how many times I play it, it never gets old or boring. Okay. Brian Oldboy, hi, which one of the main FF games has the deepest mechanics, gameplay-wise, in my opinion? Which of the main FF games has the deepest mechanics? I mean, to be fair, they're all pretty straightforward. I suppose the deepest, though, would probably be the junction system in FF8. Maybe Gambits from FF12. Yeah, I'm gonna go with either the junction system in FF8 or the Gambit system in FF12. I mean, obviously both systems are extremely broken once you know what you're doing in that, but those are probably the ones that are the most in-depth and sort of out there, you know what I mean? It's like, you've got other FF games where you've got the job system, you know, you can learn skills from gear, things like that, but they aren't really all that intuitive, so to speak. So I would probably, yeah, I'd go with the junction system in FF8 or the Gambit system from FF12. Okay, that guy. Dude, that guy. Okay, do you like Final Fantasy 13 and / or 15? Opinion is divided on these entries in particular, and I don't recall seeing videos about them on your channel, so just wondering. Fun fact, the very first video I ever made for YouTube was ironically, a grinding video for Final Fantasy 13. That's been long since deleted from my old channel though, because I mean, it was really terrible. Like, the quality was just horrible, there was no game sound or anything like that, and it used copyrighted audio, so I deleted that many years ago. But I like 13. I don't have a problem with 13. A lot of people say it's dead linear. FF10. That's just as linear. Like, I see no problems with the linearity of 13. The story could have done with a bit of work. I also just pretend 13.2 and 13.3 never existed, so that helps. As for 15, I'm not a fan. I'm really not a fan. I was expecting a lot of things from that because, you know, I mean, it took 10 years for it to come out. But obviously during those 10 years, the development was scrapped and restarted just constantly. So in the end, what we got delivered was just a broken mess on release, basically. So I mean, it's like, the story was a shambles, the entire world was just like one giant open sandbox with nothing in it. So I was extremely disappointed in 15. I've not played any of the DLC for it, even though I did get like the limited edition for 15, which came with the season pass. I did not like the game that much that I didn't even go back and do the DLC. So maybe some things have changed in the DLC, but yeah, I'm not a fan of 15. Okay, love the channel and content. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, buddy. It's always nice to find out that you guys love the content. Okay, so obviously I mentioned at the start of this video there are 2 posts that we can look at. So let's go ahead and scroll on up, shall we, to the next one. Okay, so on this one we have 11 comments. Let's do it. And obviously 2 weeks ago, but I said it was going to be in the next 1 to 2 days. The biggest delay there is waiting for the camera and my new light. So, sorry about the delay there. But anyway, let's jump into it. Major! Ha ha ha! Dude, are you tired of... like... Oh well. Either way, he got me right in the feels. Primal sucks pee-pee. Dude, seriously? That's not nice. Okay, Shadowkai Dragon Master 2791. That is a username and a half. I love that. Who inspired you to start gaming videos? Nobody. So, well, I don't think anybody anyway. Basically, like way back in the day, like 2008, 2009, I was a very, very heavy player of Metal Gear Online 2. And a few people were doing videos on it, you know, I used to watch those videos, and I was like, you know, I really, really want to make my own videos. It's like, it wasn't anybody in particular. I suppose it was more like the game, well, the videos for the game itself, you know, like the montages, the highlights, and things like that. So yeah, that inspired me to start making YouTube videos. So I started with the old school easy cap, which was SD 360p and absolutely terrible. Truly, truly terrible. Okay, what's your favourite FF game? The Mr. Cody Dog. Well, that's already been answered. It is Final Fantasy X. Zoahab. Is YouTube your full-time occupation? Where do you see yourself and the channel in the foreseeable future? YouTube is actually my full-time occupation now. If you don't know, I was working full-time up until about halfway through last year when the company I was working for actually went bankrupt. And at that point I was like, okay, you know what? I did like 2 weeks hardcore videos on Kingdom Hearts 3 because I actually booked time off work to do Kingdom Hearts, and I saw like how much I could make from that, and I was like, if I actually do this full time, I do think I can make a living out of it. And here we are. It's not a glamorous living, you know, it's not like any of these big like 5 million sub YouTubers or anything like that, but it pays the bills, keeps a roof over the head, and food on the table. So, yeah, it's my full-time job. Where do I see myself and the channel in the foreseeable future? I don't know. You know, I mean, hopefully, like, more guys who like the videos find the channel, and we all just continue to grow. It's like, this past year, the growth on the channel has been insane, and I'm really, really, really thankful for it. So, just with that alone, you know, it's like, I honestly couldn't say, but as long as people want to continue watching the videos, I will continue making them, basically. If push comes to shove and let's say like YouTube is not financially viable for me anymore, then I would just go out, get a normal job again, and sort of just do YouTube as a hobby. So the videos would still continue, they would just be delayed. Well, I say delayed. Oh, excuse me. I say delayed, it would just more be slower content, basically. You know, like, rather than one video a day, one video every 2 days, maybe it would be like 1 video a week, 2 videos a week, you know, something like that. But videos would still come. So, yeah, don't worry about Josh B, and wow, I have a lot of questions from Josh. Okay, have you played any other game series as much as you have the FF series, Metal Gear Online? Like, just Metal Gear, well, I suppose Metal Gear Solid in general. That's probably the second series that I've played the most, like, hands down. It's like, back on Metal Gear Online 2, like, back on the PS3 and that was an online game that was online from 2008 to 2012. And in those 4 years, I probably clocked up about 3,000 to 4,000 hours. So, yeah, I'm a no-life on other games as well. Okay, if you could change any Final Fantasy ending, which one would it be and what would you change? Ooh, change an ending, really now. If I had to change an ending, I would probably go with Final Fantasy X. And the reason for this is, while I don't really mind X-2, I'm not a major fan of the way the story went in X-2. And then obviously with the novella that we had from like Square Enix for Final Fantasy X-3 and that, it's like that just completely destroyed the lore. So in my opinion, I would probably change the 10 ending just so that we can actually get like a proper sequel, the story can properly continue, or a proper closure. Because I mean, if you're a fan of 10 and you've read the novella and that, you probably are like me and you sort of just pretend it doesn't exist, basically. Because that was hot garbage. Hot garbage. Okay, favourite FF character. We've already answered this. It is Yuna, with Gon being a second. Did you play Final Fantasy XIV in 1.0? If so, what was your favourite fight? No, I did not play the original 14. So basically, the original 14 came out before I actually had like a powerful PC. This was way back when I was using like a really shitty laptop. Like no integrated GPU or anything like that. It was like an Intel Celeron dual core processor. So it was like it was a terrible laptop. And considering most high-end PCs had struggle running the game, yeah, I did not even bother it. Not only that, back then I was very biased. I heard it was an MMO, and to me that made it sound, okay, it's just going to be World of Warcraft, so I was like, I will pass. Then, you know, like, I ended up getting my gaming PC, like, way later. The original 14 shut down. And then I was actually one of the lucky members who got into the alpha for Final Fantasy XIV 2.0. So I played from the alpha all the way through to now. So I've been playing the like 2.0, well, the remake of the original 14 now for, well, the game's been out for 6-7 years now, and I think I was obviously in the alpha, so that probably would have been about a year before the official release. So yeah, I've been playing it for 6 to 8 years now. Well, 7 to 8 years now. So it's been a while, and hey, I still love it, so they must be doing something right. Where are you from? Already been answered. I'm from the middle of England, good old Stoke-on-Trent. I'm one of the lovely oatcake eaters. Let's see, what's the fastest you could beat a Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and / or 10? Ooh, I've not done a speedrun in so long. I honestly, I couldn't say. That also depends on, are boosters allowed or boosters not allowed? I know Final Fantasy 9, I did get the Excalibur back on the PS1, so I've done that, so I've done it in at least 13 hours, but I can't remember what my time was. I've never really done like a hardcore speedrun for any of the others, so I honestly couldn't say. FF10, I could probably do that in about, I don't know, 15 hours? Well, probably a bit quicker than that, actually. Yeah, probably quicker than 15 hours, to be fair. 7, 8, and 9, probably hovering around like the 10 to 13 hour mark, really. It's like, once you know what you're doing, they aren't really that bad. A lot of the time taken is more on the, like, the random battles and that. Obviously, like, the actual hardcore speedrunners, they, like, literally master the step counter and that, so they can just skip all of, like, the random battles, bar a few. But, yeah, I'd say probably, like, 10 to 13 hours, roughly, for each of them. But I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll do a speedrun. Maybe I'll do a speedrun. Like, if there's enough interest for it, I will do one. But anyway, guys, I did check on Patreon and Twitter and Facebook before this. I did not get any questions on there. So yeah, unfortunately, that brings this Q&A to a close. Although, just remember guys, you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook, linked down below. And of course, if you guys have any questions down in the comments, I will be answering them as well. This Q&A is not only for Patreons to ask questions, and it's not just for Patreons to watch either. But if you do want to support me on Patreon, then check out the link down below. Because of course, big thank you to all of the supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. As always though, everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and leave your questions. As always though, I'll see you soon.